what started out as a small oil leak on the 6.7 Powerstroke turned into this. All right, we're back now. I got a new memory card and a new stand. I went and bought 2 memory cards. All these memory cards, I erased the videos on them and now they don't work. So I got 2 more, but how does this stay? Oh, there we go. Put this in a sack before I lose it. I went and got me a bagel. I'm trying to do everything I can but work. It's just one of those days, not very motivated. Put that in here for, actually I need to mark it or something. Same disc. Because I'm sure these can be fixed. Oh, it's gray, okay. Save those. Put those there for now. But yeah, we're gonna get on this truck, I promise. So this is that long extension that I bought, and it came with, so the other ones I've used were just a 3/8 end or a 1/2 inch end here. This one's got a 3/8 wobble end. I was like, damn, because most of the time I use a wobble socket anyways. So that should help. I don't know, it's not really the best wobble. Well, why is it? Oh. You can push it in and make it solid, or you can pull it out and make it wobble. That is cool, did not know it did that, but it's 1/2 inch here because you want to have a 1/2 inch for the power when it's this long, but it just slips up in there. Of course, I'll have to drop this cross member, drop the tranny down a little, but I'm able to get all those top bolts from back here. So that's the whole point of it. Oh, there you go. You can see me a little. So just wanted to show you guys that. I'm gonna show this thing in action. I don't know if y'all will be able to see it very well, but go ahead and pull out some of these that are hard to get to with the jack in the way. One thing that would be cool is if it was magnetic. That would really top it off. Shoot, I forget, I might have to go ahead and, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and have to pull that cross member, so let's go ahead and do that. Let's see if, I don't know if y'all will be able to see me do this, but I don't know where else to put you. Maybe like right here. Let's see up in there. Not really, but anyways, you just stick this sucker right in here, get her lined up, and it takes them right out. See, that's why you want the 1/2 inch gun, because it just takes less effort. Plus, when you tighten them, you want them tight. So these 2 at the very top are the hardest ones to get to, and that just makes easy work of it. This one, that one's gone out, that one's out. Okay, now let me get these other 2 top ones. Okay, so this one's still got some lines in the way, so it might be a little tricky. Spot. Oh, that's why. That might be a little disadvantage if you push it in while it's straight. It wants to lock it. And I kind of use that to. I kind of do that to see. Wants to lock it when you push it, so I'm trying to move it around in there. It wants to lock it, so That's something I have to remember. And other than that though, I think it's better than the other tools that I've used. For sure. For show, man. Okay, there's all those. All out, I guess. Starting to move. All right, let me move you guys out of the way, so that way you can see this thing fall on me. Hopefully not, right? Look at all that oil that just poured out of there. I'd say this one was a rear main for sure. For sure. Okay. Got them all? I think. Top one. Yeah. Definitely leaking. Holy smokes. Look at that puddle. So, I'm gonna end up doing everything on this one, which is the way it needs to be done anyways. Okay. This is for, shove this on here. Soak it up. Alright. I'm gonna regroup. Alright, so I got it all loose. I like to jack the block up, or the whole engine up, stick some stuff in there to hold it up, and then also kind of help it. Just helps me get into these tighter spots a little easier. So now I'm going to pull this flywheel, and upper wheel pan's loose. I just gotta pry it all apart. So I'm gonna do that, get it washing, take all that off, get everything started to clean up in the parts washer, so that way it's ready to go back together, because I'll be like an hour in there cleaning all that and all this. So let's get to work. Enough chit chat. So another thing I wanted to explain was, you see, you can't really tell, but on the pan there's this angled piece all the way around. And so a lot of times when I've resealed the pan that was leaking after somebody else already did it at another shop, they will silicone it all here on the flat spot. That makes sense, right? You would think it would go there. But the way this pan's designed and the way it mounts, Ford wants you to put a thick, decent sized bead all on this angled piece with this special silicone. Some people say they like to use the Ford stuff, but obviously that stuff fails, so I use this Molly JV8, and I have done a ton of pans and have not had one leak yet, knock on wood. But I've had mechanics work for me. They would argue and argue, and they would do an upper wheel pan. I would say, no, I want it siliconed here like the book says. They would be like, that doesn't make any sense, blah blah blah. It doesn't. That's just the way it is. Don't ask me why, I don't know. That's the way the book says to do it, and so I follow that procedure, and I haven't had one issue since. So now I'm going to get this thing stabbed up there and get all these bolts torqued down. As you can see, we've got the oil pan back in place. Now I just need to button up the front of it, put my studs back in to hold the harness, put all that back together there. Coolant hose needs to go on. Got a couple things, but I'm gonna try to get it all buttoned up to a point where all I got to do is slap this in. So let's go ahead and get her done. All right, another pro tip. So this lower oil pan here is usually siliconed, okay? don't know if you can see, but I gotta scrape it a little bit, but that's normally silicone, the pan that goes right here. So what I always do, you pretty much have to bend them to get them off. So I always buy a brand new pan. They're like 50, 60 bucks. And then when you buy a new pan, buy a new gasket instead of silicone it like the factory, because then it's easy to remove and replace. And then you don't have a mess. So it just makes cleanup easier. I mean, you can see there's silicone still on this. So got the oil cooler on, got the hoses on, I got the front buttoned up. So now I'm at the point where I need to get this pan on, and then it's time to put the transmission back in. So we're moving right along on this one. So we got this pan in. We got, what else did I just do? Oh yeah, tighten the motor mounts. You gotta remember to tighten those. I use it to get more space. I loosen the motor mounts, leave the nuts on, and then raise it with a jack and put some extensions in there. I just put them in right here just to get some extra room. But one thing I noticed was, check that out. We also got another leak. These like to leak at the injector where the little seal is for the injectors. So this side's leaking. I didn't even notice that because I was so focused on the upper oil pan, but this one is also leaking, barely, but just something we're gonna have to address later on. I know it's not gonna be as major as the oil leak was, but, or the rear main and the upper oil pan is, but that is still gonna be a problem eventually. So we will address that. They're just a pain to do. Like, you gotta take all the injectors out, it's just a whole ordeal. So we'll just have to wait for another, if he has another repair, or really see how bad it is, but I don't think it's that bad. But now it's time for me to get this transmission in by myself. So this is gonna be fun. Wish me luck. All right, so I just went ahead and got the transmission back in. I've got everything buttoned up. Torque converter bolts are in, new oil filter, new cooler, drive lines all in, Loctited. Rear drive shaft's in, Loctited. So now I'm gonna lower this lift, and I am going to fill it up with oil, fill it up with coolant, and see if it starts. I think I already did the crankcase filter on it last time. Oh crap, we got some stuff on the lens. I think I already did the crankcase filter. I'm about to look, but I was gonna do another one. But I think we tried that first before I did anything else. Because sometimes like it won't fix it all, but it'll slow it down, and he does a lot of construction. So he didn't want to leave a bunch of oil everywhere, and it had just started to drip, so. We'll know here in just a second if that's what I did. Yeah, I already did a crankcase filter, so we won't need to do that again. This is one that I just did probably 2 months ago. But I'm gonna fill it up with oil, and these, once you do these oil pans, you gotta overfill them because they're obviously bone dry. Then I gotta get I gotta button these up, pull a vacuum, put my battery terminals on, we can start it. All right guys, so as you can see, the truck's out of the shop. I had 5 people show up in the last 30 minutes, and my buddy dropping off material for the add-on that he's doing tomorrow, so I didn't get to do a will it start video on this truck. But it started, and he is on his way to come get it. He's excited. He wants his truck back, so he's got work to do. So he likes to know when to change the oil. And those, I think Ford goes off of like 7,500 factory or something. I always recommend 5,000. Especially when I always tell everybody do 5,000 and do your air and fuel all at the same time. Don't try to skip one oil change or whatever, especially on a Ford. Just do them all at once. That way you don't have to worry about it. So 284 plus 5, what would that be? 289. See, I'm smart. I didn't even have to use a calculator. 289. Check this old one out. It's from 25 anyways. That's a fancy sticker. It's all printed on there. Mine are handwritten, bud. I accidentally ran over my... I knew that was a bad idea, putting that in the middle. But extension cord's still good. This thing's just a piece of shit anyways. We'll toss that in a minute. Finally came and dumped my dumpster. So, well, that's that one. We're gonna wrap it up. And I'm gonna start working on this one later and making a video for it. So, thanks for watching.